Welcome back.
To what?
What were we at?
TAE Time.
Hey.
I'm very stressed.
Look at our cute little guest today. Who are you?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm Chloe and I'm Nicoletta's pal, and that's pretty much it.
No, it's nice having you on, so thank you for coming.
Yeah, it took a lot of willpower, to be honest. She's stressing it.
I'm chained to the desk at the moment.
Yeah.
There's handcuffs on it here that you can't see. So.
Yeah, she looks calm and relaxed on the surface, but in reality, she's pretty stressed right now.
She's like,
do I look calm? I don't think I beg to differ, to be honest.
When you watch this back later,
I'm not watching it back and I'm not listening to it, so you're going to have to lose a listener this week.
there'll be clips incoming.
yeah.
No, I'm blocking you from Instagram. I don't want to see it.
She's like, for the week while all the clips are there, I'm literally unfollowing you, blocking you.
You don't understand how stressed I'll be if I'm scrolling through my Instagram and I just get attached with my own face.
You're
It's
like,
okay. It'll be a pretty
I
face.
need warning.
Pretty
Yeah, what is
face.
this?
Put
up
trigger
close and
warning before it, will you?
yeah, every single time. A black screen and then your face.
Yeah.
Not like,
I know it's coming.
It's like, Chloe, if you're watching this
Jump
for
scare
you.
is coming.
yeah, you're about to see yourself.
No, but thanks for coming on. What brings you to this side of the world?
To Dublin, I'm just up for work. Well, came up yesterday and then had a work night out. So I did live in Dublin, but then I moved to Cork, which
Ooh.
Farouk likes to slag.
Yeah, because Cork. I went to. Do you see? Everyone is like, they always go like, "Oh, why are you slagging Cork?" And I was like, I lived there for 4 years. I think I have the right to slag
You
it.
don't?
I do.
Well, I can slag Dublin. Dublin's a shit hole.
Well, no, because you didn't live in Dublin for 4 years.
I lived for 3 years. It's close enough.
Not enough.
It is enough.
4 years is the cutoff point.
I'm here to bring back Cork's legacy.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Reputation.
Tell us a little bit, like, what's the
Yeah.
difference between, like, party life in Dublin, party life in Cork?
Yeah, what are you saying?
It's much easier to get into places in Cork, and like maybe it's because I live
I wonder
down.
why. Because there's no one there.
No,
Oi.
incorrect. It's just there's less people, all like muddled into one place. But I lived out in the back arse of nowhere when I lived in Dublin, so you had to get a taxi home. There was no like bus or Lewis options, and like you'd be waiting for a taxi for like 2 hours.
Did you have the issue back in the day where what would happen is like you'd want to go for a taxi ride and next thing you know they're just like they like half open the window like where you going, and then if
Yeah.
it's not far they just fuck off.
Well, no, they was far enough because they were going to get like 30 euro out of me every
Yeah.
time, so they were happy out. But like all the, the men in the tuk-tuks would be like, do you want a lift? I'm like, you'd die if you had to cycle me back to where I live, like, so no. Whereas in Cork, I can get the 24-hour bus out to my house.
Oh yeah. Wait,
I
Cork
didn't even know
has
there was
24 hours.
one.
It has one route, and my house is right outside one of the stops.
See,
Wow.
that's very fortunate. Most people don't have that.
Even still, the taxis are easier to get and they're cheaper.
Well, I wonder why.
There's no one. No, people are out. There's a great laugh. I feel like it's good. And there's like, well, I'm from Limerick, where there's like 3 places to go out.
Yeah.
So in Cork, you still have all the options where you've got like loads of pubs and nightclubs, but it's not as like hectic as Dublin.
Well, would you say Cork is busier of a city than Limerick is? Limerick City is pretty busy, to be honest, isn't it? No?
Limerick City is shit. And I can say that because I'm from there. So don't come for me.
But you guys don't have the title of Stop Shitty anymore, you know?
That's good. Like Dublin is more dangerous than Limerick. I seen
Sure,
someone's
even
ear
Kerry
get bit
now.
off.
Yeah,
Kerry?
Kerry's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
don't you know, like, out of the Munster regions, I think it was recently enough there that Tralee is more dangerous than Limerick is.
I can't never want to Tralee again. Because like,
Oh, you've been there?
shut up, yes I have.
Oh my god.
A couple of times.
What did you think of it?
Lovely. I went to the Aquadome a lot as a child.
Oh.
You know, I can't swim, so it didn't go very well.
Yeah, that went out of business real quick, to be honest, as well.
Is it
Yeah.
gone?
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
gone.
gone.
No,
It's
no,
not
it's
gone.
closed.
It is
To be
not
fair,
gone.
I've heard some dodgy stories about the Aquadome.
Yeah,
so.
there's
to be
been some
honest.
dodgy
Like,
stories.
COVID killed it, but it was going to get killed before COVID, let's be honest.
But like Dublin is the worst. Dublin's definitely worse than Tralee. Have
yeah.
you been on the Red Line, Lewis? You've seen
Yeah.
some shit. I seen someone's ear get bit off.
Yeah, no, to be honest, yeah, no.
Oh.
Like, sure, I've only ever lived in the north side of Dublin. I've never lived in
Oh,
the...
see, I was a posh Southsider when I was here. And
This
I'm
is why we can't be
I'm a
friends.
This is
posh
why your
Southsider in
experience is
Cork as well,
different.
so soz guys.
Nah, I've always
With
been
the least
like
posh accent ever. But it's fine.
At least you're safe or whatever, but you don't have the fun, entertaining stories of the rough side, you know? So
Yeah, exactly.
we win.
Yeah,
it's a lot more. We see a lot more interesting things going on day to day. Like,
I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds it.
I used to like one of the places I used to live, literally right beside like the Spire. There was a massive blocks there.
Yeah.
You could imagine. There was one time some guy ordered Deliveroo, and the Deliveroo driver got close hand off his bike, and they stole the food. And then when your Deliveroo driver got back up, they smacked him in the face one more time just for laughs.
For food, though.
Yeah,
My friends from college lived near the Spire as well, probably the same block of flats, when I lived in Galway, and they used to just constantly send me pictures of like all the guards like cornering off outside their house and being like there was a gunshot and stuff, and I was like, I'm living my life in Galway anyway.
Yeah, probably around the same place, I'd say.
I don't know if you remember during COVID, there was like this specific place where they held concerts and they had like a mic and, you know, people in pajamas.
Stop.
That's where he lived.
That's where I
across
live.
from that.
Right across from there. Literally,
Sounds like a beautiful place.
Stunning. Like.
Entertainment.
Please don't come for me. I don't live in Cork. I live in Canada. You can't get me.
Very true.
Fine, fair. But yeah, you said you're here with work. So what do you do?
I'm a business consultant.
Oh,
Which I'm pretty sure has also been slagged on the podcast before.
Fancy. No, actually, I don't think I've slagged business consultants.
I think you just said
yet.
Consultants hate their life or something.
No,
that's
that's
me.
Nicoletta.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicoletta thinks consultancy is just one big scam.
No, we're very valuable.
Oh, no. I would like to work as a business consultant, just to make it clear if there's any roles out there.
The quick 180 for a job.
I will take a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your day look like?
Well, I mainly do consulting for pharmaceutical companies, but like it just really depends what project you could put on and stuff. Like they could be more like tech heavy or like actual like strategy consulting and stuff. So it just really depends on the project as to like what you're doing, and like they can be like 4-month projects, or like one of my projects was like 2.5 years. So just depends.
That sounds really bougie. Wow.
I guess the elephant in the room, as everyone always asks, is what does a consultant actually do?
So I get this a lot, and do you know what? I don't know how to answer it. I'm like, I consult businesses on things.
What things?
It depends on the project.
You see what I mean?
Like a lot of the stuff I've done is like systems implementation of either software or like actual equipment. So like be like validating all the stuff to bring it in so that it's like ready for them to use. Because like especially with pharmaceutical, it's all like regulatory.
Yeah.
So there needs to be like a whole load of documentation behind it. So like project managing the whole project basically.
Okay, cool.
But like there's people who do completely different things to me in my company. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you can literally have a consultant for everything. Like.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for any field at all.
Yeah, all industries pretty much. And it's like varies a lot then depending what industry you're in and like again what project you're on in that industry.
Yeah.
So.
And is that what you studied in college as well, or?
No, so I actually did UX design in college.
That's very different.
Yeah.
That's a big 180 right there.
So yeah, I didn't really know what I wanted to do afterwards, and then I always said I wouldn't live in Dublin, but I seen a graduate program in Dublin, and basically in the graduate programs they don't care what your background is. Like like someone in my start group did zoology. Like there's like it doesn't have to be anything business related or whatever. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then another guy from my course was doing it as well, so we kind of started together.
Okay.
And then I decided I wanted to be in the pharmaceutical industry, so I did a second degree during lockdown in pharmaceutical business.
How was that doing it? That kind of like a different degree during COVID, during lockdown, online classes, everything was just...
Yeah, it was kind of shit. My graduation's next week actually, but I'm not going.
Oh, congrats.
But, it's in Dublin, so I'm not bothered to come up on a Wednesday. But like, yeah, it was... So I started it last February when you literally couldn't go outside the house. Yeah. So it was hard to do, like, I'd work till like 5 or 5:30 like normal, and then the lecture would be from 6 to 9 on a Monday and on a Wednesday, I think, and then every second Saturday you do like 10 to 4:30 or something, so it was like a full day. So it was obviously a lot, but it wasn't as bad then from like the February to June semester, because you literally couldn't do anything, so I was like, that's fine. And then I had summer off, and the second semester was September to January of this year. So it was all during Christmas and stuff. I was trying to study for exams that were right after Christmas, and like people were going out, and I was like, I have assignments to do, which was like shit. But yeah, I would like originally I was like, I might do a part-time master's as well, and I'm like, definitely not.
Yeah, no,
not
fuck
happening.
That.
Not for me.
Literally.
Yeah.
But onto the more Interesting stuff. No,
Maybe
that
I'll
was-
have
The
that
little-
shot.
The little smirk on Nicola's face being like, yeah, we came here for the sauce.
You the sauce.
Where's that shot of vodka at?
Just looking around the room. Obviously, you know, we like to talk about relationships on this pod.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very on brand. So what's your experience like?
Okay. I was actually going to segue into it from when you were asking about Dublin versus Cork for a night out, because I've never, well, besides like last night, but when I lived here, I was never single. So I've never gone out in Dublin as a single woman living here, whereas I have in Cork. So that might like change my experience and views as well.
Yeah, once you go out here,
Ooh.
she's finna go out with us. So just know she's gonna be talking shit about Cork nights out after this. Just yeah.
We'll see.
Let's hope.
I'll
Let's
report
hope.
back. I'll comment on one of their videos or something and be like,
Okay.
it was shit or it wasn't.
And it'll be the episode a week later, not related, and she'd be like, just an update.
Farouk chats shit and his night out was shit. Okay? But yeah, so I was in a very long relationship.
What's long?
8 years.
Ooh.
So
And you didn't put a ring on it? Hey,
Whoa,
hey.
hold on.
sorry.
I'm an exception to the rule. Just
Sorry.
gonna put that out there.
It was your 9 years. I don't see a ring on that. So
Yeah,
that's
Farouk, actually,
I wouldn't be chatting shit. You brought it up. You dug yourself that all. But yeah, so we got together when I was like 16, and we broke up in May of this year. So when I was 24.
this is
Damn.
fresh.
Fresh.
Yeah, I'm like 6 months single next week. I'm so excited. It's my like 6-month anniversary.
Oh,
You
we
How
need
cute.
to
cute.
You
celebrate.
need to do a date for yourself.
Yeah, I had like remember when we were taking all the videos in London and stuff. I have like a little TikTok. I'm not going to post it. I know you're going to tell me
Just
to post it.
post it.
I want to post it privately to myself, but I'll show it to you later. It's cute.
Okay.
I'll get a video tonight to end it.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Yeah.
That'd be cute. So
yeah.
what's your life been like in the past 6 months?
Yeah, a bit wild. Like I've never been single as an adult, so I thought it'd be like way harder. I was like, oh, I don't know how to date people.
Yeah,
or
like the transition.
like the last time I was on Tinder, I was 15. Like so, yeah, it's a bit different.
I'm surprised Tinder was even there when we were 15. Now that I think
It's
about
just
it.
it was just new, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just about.
But yeah, I've taken easier to it than I expected. I don't know, but like the apps are fine. I don't find them like I feel like a lot of women complain about them because they're like looking for something serious out of them, so it doesn't really work out well for them. Whereas I don't really care.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Sure, you've been something serious for like 8 years. Like,
Yeah.
that's
yeah, I'd
the last
rather
thing to
not
jump
for now.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a grand like meeting different types of people. I think when you're with like one person for so long, you just know like that one type of man or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I obviously have friends that are guys, but like I would never talk to them in certain ways. So like I'm like you get to see what different type of people are out there, what you definitely don't want to go near, what is available, and then like some things that like guys would bring up. I'm like, oh, such and such never did that, so that's like a bit weird.
Yeah.
You know?
That's one thing actually that I'm really interested in, because like I always say like that's one thing I was like, oh yeah, because like Nicolette and I have been together for a long time, so like we've never been with like other people, so like, and I was like I was like, you don't know if there's like anyone out there that could technically be a better fit for you, but because you don't know other people's like how they are in a relationship and so on,
Yeah.
and like what would you say like now that you've been in like a long-term relationship and you were like quote unquote happy for the time, and then like afterwards actually seeing other people and be like, okay, there's actually different, maybe some stuff that were good about being in a long-term relationship and some stuff that's like, oh, I'm glad I'm single now because I would have never even knew.
Yeah, like I think the whole thing of grass is greener is like anyone could always think that like there's like what 7 billion people, like I don't think that there's like one person that's like your best person.
Yeah.
Like there could be 5 people that you'd get on really well with and like could marry and be happy with, but like if you find one of them and there's no issues, I don't think you should really be like, oh, I didn't get single time, or like I don't know what that person's like kind of thing. But like I kind of feel like I wanted single time and didn't really realize it because it just came fine to me then once I was like in it. So I think it probably was in my subconscious, and like it's not like the relationship is like all roses and stuff either. Like so, you know, like we had a break years ago and I'm like, that should have ended there. But anyway, it's fine. If I'd done that, I would have never moved to Dublin. I would have never met my Dublin friends. That's fine.
Okay. So like, do you know the way like people go from like a relationship for a long time and then into the dating scene? Like, what was like flirting like? Because I feel like I would have to relearn it. Do you know
I
what
don't
mean?
think I'm good at flirting, but like my friends tell me I'm a flirty person, so maybe I am. I don't know. I'm a Libra, apparently that means you're flirty. I don't really believe in horoscopes, but there you go. So like, I don't know if I necessarily flirt, to be honest, but maybe I do it subconsciously. But like, sometimes it's really easy, like if you're on a date, to talk to people and it's fine. You don't really have to think about what you're saying, whereas other people, it's like drawing blood from a stone. So you're like, what do I say here? Like, what? No, I'm trying to be funny.
And then if he doesn't get your joke and you're like,
when they flop, it's like, I'm just going to go home and cry.
think about it for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Socially awkward, I'll just nightmares about that for the rest of my life.
But I feel like if you're a friendly person, people always just take that off as flirty anyway. So
like,
if it's the opposite sex,
that happens to me when I don't mean it, as in like men think I'm being flirty with them. I'm like, I'm just being nice to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no interests.
And how do you like shut that down?
I don't know, I'm not very good at confrontation, as you know, so I just kind of ignore
Run.
it. I'm just ignore.
You're just like, I'm just going to ghost you in real life.
Pretend it doesn't happen. Yeah, I just continue to be friendly, maybe a little less friendly, and then just pretend like I don't know what, like play dumb, like I don't realise what you're doing, kind of thing. Yeah.
So you said your relationship was like not all like, roses or whatever. What are some like red flags that you noticed but you're like just like shoved to the side?
Like when we were in a relationship for ages, and like it was fine at the time. Well, it wasn't. But like certain comments would be made about looks and things a lot, or what you're eating and things like that. So that's not great. Which is a reason for the first break. But as well, like we didn't do the same things. Like I'm a very social person. I like going out with my friends. I like believed in, like, if you're in a relationship, you should be able to go out separately as well. Like you should be able to go out with your friends. You can go out with your friends. You don't have to be like joined at the hip all the time. So I'd go out with my friends like all the time. And like this sounds mean to say, but like he didn't have a group of friends really. So he didn't ever go out or anything really with them or anything like that. So I suppose I would be out and he'd be like sitting at home kind of thing. So I feel like you have to have similar lives in that way. Not that you both have to be party people, but like, let's say if you're going out with your friends, that Nicoletta has friends to meet up with to go shopping or whatever, like at this, like exactly. That you both, like one's not just waiting at home for the other one, or the like, things like that. And
then like what was what would he be like when you would go out with your friends? Did he say anything about it, or was he just like chill?
He's pretty fair, grand, to be honest. Like I used to try and drag him out sometimes, and it just wasn't up for it, so it'd be better off for me to go out on my own.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely one of those like things that can be like make or break kind of thing. Because like when we were first dating, like in college, I was in college and I started college. Nicoletta was terrible.
I was struggling.
She was like every time I would go out, it would end up in a fight. Like she would be giving me so much shit, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, like get off my back," kind of thing.
But I wasn't truly in your Cork.
Oh, true love, because you stayed with her. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. And it's like, and so like it was always, and my friends would be like, well, like, why are you like here in the corner on your phone? I'm like, well, because I'm kind of busy right now, kind of thing, like
trying to put out fires over here,
but obviously like then as we grew up, like Nicoletta got a lot more comfortable with like doing her own thing and stuff like that, and I feel like that makes a very big difference, as you said. Like
it's probably as well because you were in college and you were like still in secondary school, is it? Or?
Yeah, and I was not, like the kind of like, everyone kind of says that, when you go to college, like you're leaving your partner, everyone's like doing whatever. Yeah. And I was like an insecure little like teen, and I was like,
Yeah, I think when you're not in college nights out seem like way bigger than what they actually are, or like where you're like more like wild, and it's just a night out. Like
it's like the American like parties, like
everyone's drinking and fucking.
Yeah. That was
mad shit going on, like people going up to people's rooms and stuff, like and just, So I think generally it was fine when I went out. There was no real fights. Not that I can remember anyway.
Okay. And what kind of other like red flags were there?
Well, during not so much, but the end red flags of the break. Will we just go into that bit? Okay.
Get us started.
So basically, so we broke up in May. So like the start of this year, end of last year, I'd say he got a new friend in work. Just fair.
Red flag. Sorry.
Yep. Getting friends.
And the friend was a woman, which, to be honest, I'm pretty chill about. Like, I'm like, men and women can be friends. Like, I have friends that are guys, would never touch off them, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like, there's
they
never.
Won't touch you.
No, they won't.
Nicoletta has a lot to say about that topic.
They would. No, that's what you taught me.
No, there's definitely friends that I have that if both of us were single, we wouldn't go near each other, like, so. Okay. But yeah, so he had a friend that was a girl. I was like, that's fine, you know, chilled out, grand, whatever. He was kind of like, oh, she has no friends. You'll see why I don't mind saying these things in a minute. So he was like, she has no friends, blah, blah, blah. And I feel really bad for her. I was like, yeah, grand. So they like started going on nights out together, sometimes with other people from work, sometimes on their own. But like, I met her, I dropped her home to her house. One night, me and him were out for dinner and drinks, and they happened to be in the same place, which was coincidence at the time. Her and her boyfriend. So we had like a double date, let's say, with them. So I'd met her a couple of times, grand, dropped her home, seemed fine. Then it got a bit like too much, to the point where I was like, I'm chilled about this. So if I'm feeling a certain way, that means like you've kind of overstepped a boundary. Like, for example, they'd go out for a night out together and then meet up for breakfast again in the morning. And I was like, you're basically missing the having sex with each other a bit in between.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well have just went home together.
Or he'd like, if we were meant to go for a walk, he'd be like, oh, we'll go for the walk later, I'm going to meet up with her first, kind of thing.
Girl.
So that's a red flag.
That is a
clearly.
very big
how did you react in the moment?
We'd just fight about it, like, but I was kind of like, you know, he'd be like reassuring, and I was like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever, grand, not like super happy about it, but he'd be like, she has no friends, I feel bad for her, like she doesn't get on with her mom or whatever, I don't know.
He was guilt tripping you, like.
Pretty much, he was like, she's not my type, blah blah blah, and I was like, to be fair, she's not. Like, she doesn't look like me at all, like, so I was like, that's fine, whatever, grand, just like don't do it again, kind of thing. And then there were like nights out where he wouldn't come home till like 5 in the morning, even though he said he was coming home at 11. I like would assume he's dead basically at the side of the road or at her house. So like I wouldn't sleep. That happened to me one time before a tattoo, and then I had to go get stabbed for like 5 hours on no sleep.
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
that wasn't fun. But so they're red flags.
Very
and then
much.
I think if you're bringing up things like that to your partner and they're not like taking your side immediately, like you over a friend that they've just met, that's a red flag, because then that's not just a friend.
Because it's one thing to be like, oh, a friend I've known like 10 years before you.
Yeah, no.
But not like
it's
a friend that you just met. It's like, you'll barely know this person.
Yeah, so like why are you taking precedence over me? Like, but anyway, that's another red flag. So yeah, so that was start of this year kind of thing, and then we went away to Barcelona, which I paid for. I would like to put on the records. Actually, wait, sorry, I forgot to PSA. If you're a man who I talk to, get the fuck off, please, because you don't need to hear any of this. It's too much information. Okay, leave now. Goodbye. Thank you. So yeah, in May we went to Barcelona. I paid for the trip as a birthday present, and he was like constantly on his phone. Another red flag. I was like, I didn't pay for this trip to come and like sit and have dinner on my own in silence, basically. And he was texting her and other friends, but I was like, you don't see my friends texting me because they know I'm on holidays. They can talk to me when I'm back, kind of thing. And then when we came back, we went to Ed Sheeran, which, so like, I was kind of happy that he was going out with his friends or whatever, because as I said, he didn't really go out that much when we were in college. So I was like, this is kind of good. But like, he was mad for going out with her and like his work friends. But then when I came to Ed Sheeran, I was like, oh, let's go out afterwards and meet my friend and her boyfriend. And he was like, no, I'm not drinking. I'm going to drive straight home because I'm going to drive back up to Dublin in the morning.
Sus.
And I was like,
Sauce.
yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, well. So I basically may as well have been at Ed Sheeran on my own, because he was like a plank of wood behind me. Like, I didn't move the whole thing. I was like, this is not fun. So another red flag if they want to stop going out with you and stuff. And then that week, so I think Ed Sheeran was like a Friday or something. So I was staying in Limerick that week to mind my dad, who had just had a heart attack. Yeah, so I was minding him post-op because he wasn't meant to move anything. So he knew I'd be in Limerick that whole week. And I could just tell stuff was off because of Ed Sheeran and like the texts and stuff. So I was like, you know, what's up? And he was like, can I call you? And I was like, yeah, fair. He was like, I think we should have a break. It's like, okay, that's a bit of weird timing, but fine. And at this point, I already knew I was moving to Cork at the end of May because he hated Dublin so much. Like, the whole time we lived here, he's like, I can't wait to leave Dublin, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, how about instead of going back to Limerick, we go to Cork? I'll get a new job in Cork. Uproot my life. But anyway, it's fine. So we knew I was going to Cork at this point. And he was like, can we have a break just for like maybe a month? And I was like, well, sure, we're going to live together for the next 3 weeks before I move to Cork. Like, that doesn't make any sense. What do you mean by a break? Because like, we had a break when I was in college, but it was like a very much you're not to speak to other people kind of break. It's just think about what you've done kind of break and see if we miss each other, and if not, then we'll just leave it. But he was like, oh, I don't know, what do you think? Do you want to like maybe see people in the month and stuff? And I was like, no. I was like, you either stay with me or you break up with me, like Simple. Make up your mind.
Yeah, no halfway.
Yeah, so he was being like shitty about it, and I was like, do you know what, just leave it off, grand, we'll talk about it when I come up. I was like, I was meant to be staying in Limerick that whole week. I was like, I'm actually going to come up on Wednesday because Dad doesn't like need me as much as I thought he did. He was like, maybe don't come up Wednesday. And I was like,
maybe don't come up Wednesday.
To my own apartment.
I live there.
Yeah, maybe don't come up Wednesday. And I was like, why? And he was like, well, I've planned to go for a walk with her, so I know you won't be happy about it.
A walk?
Yeah. And I was like, maybe cancel the walk to save your 8-year relationship. No, maybe. I just thought, but yeah. So I was like, fuck your walk, I'm coming up. So I came up anyway. Obviously all hell broke loose in person. Like I had written down notes of like what I wanted to say, blah blah blah. And at this point I had already said to him, like, it seems like you're staying in Dublin for her. He was like, no, whatever, you're being psychopathic, blah blah blah.
They love to pull that card, don't they?
They love the psycho card. Now, to be fair, I was screaming, but like,
and rightfully so.
Exactly. So yeah, at that point we were like, look, let's just like leave. Like every time we talk to each other, we're gonna scream. So we'll just like leave it simmer for a sec. Like we're not broken up at this point. We still have to live together. We'll just be civil. And then, what happened then? Oh yeah, so then he was going on a like work night out, and so like obviously she was going to be there because she works with him, and it was like in the convention centre in Dublin. I feel like I'm giving away a load of details, like anyone that knows me is going to know who it is anyway, but like I'm not really sorry because it's your own fault. I'm just speaking facts about your behaviour. So
I did this.
Yeah, so it was like some fancy work night out or whatever. Actually, another red flag. She used to always post selfies of him on Instagram stories, and he'd like repost them. So like all my friends would be like, who's that girl on his stories? Or like my aunt even said it to me. And I was like, oh, that's just his friend. But obviously all my friends were like, fuck alarm bells.
Would he repost you? Would he ever repost you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was on his Instagram.
Okay, because like if he didn't repost you, but he reposted her all the time, that's a super red
Was
flag.
he reposting other friends?
No, he didn't have any other friends.
Oh my God.
Just the two girls?
Yeah, so just me on the page and then her on stories and stuff. So like they went out one night to Coppers or something, the two of them, on their own. Like they went out on a work thing and then they ended up in Coppers, just the two of them. She posted a picture, he'd repost it kind of thing. So at this work event that they were at, she posts a picture of them at the table and he reposts it. And I'm out with my friends at this point, and I like turned it around to my friend and my friend was like, fuck him. So like I was livid at this point. This is like a Saturday or something. Because I was like, you know I'm upset about it, so you're reposting it. You know I also follow her, so you allowed her to take the picture and put it up.
Exactly.
And then I was like, she's actually some cheeky bitch as well if she knows we're fighting about her. And
yeah, and still going ahead.
Yeah.
It's pretty disrespectful.
So that was the Saturday night. Sunday morning, he got out of bed like eventually, and I was like, look, we're breaking up. I was like, and he was like, no, we're not. I was like, no, we are. This is done. And he's like, it's not. And I was like, it is. like
it's like, bro, you weren't even trying to hide it. So
you
like,
disrespected me and you don't care about my feelings clearly, so we're done. And he's like, right. And I was like, and I said like, you know, she's cheeky if she knows. And he was like, oh no, she doesn't know anything. And I was like, right.
Why doesn't she know? Why didn't you tell her?
Yeah, I was like, so she doesn't know we're fighting about her? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, that gives her some saving grace maybe. But I know. I digress. So at this point we're sleeping. So I had like we had an apartment together and we had like 2 rooms. So obviously our room and the spare room. At this point we've been sleeping separately since I've come back up.
Yeah.
So he was sleeping in the spare room and I was sleeping in my room. But the spare room is where I did work from home. Yeah. So I went in there on the Monday, obviously, to work. And his suit is hanging up with red lipstick all over it. And guess who's wearing red lipstick in her selfie?
Oh my, he didn't even try.
No, wait till you hear this. Oh, sorry, no offense to the men, but sometimes men are stupid. So this is, I called him and he's in work. I was like, can you come home? I want to talk to you and I'm talking to you about it over a message. And he was like, no, I can't come home. Tell me over the phone. I was like, what's the red lipstick all over your clothes for? So it was like on the front of his jacket, bit like here. And then I went and got a shirt and it was on the inside of the buttons. And there was all foundation on the back of the like the neck bit. So like obviously your arm was around it like that or whatever. And he was like, oh, we were like next to each other all night talking. So like that's how I got there. It's like, do you see my lipstick floating onto Farouk there? Because we're sitting next to each other.
You know?
And he was like, we were dancing and stuff. I was like, obviously she's pulling you in and you're letting her. Because like if she had lipstick on her fingers and like pulled him in like that, obviously we get on the inside. But I was like, that's too close. Like you're letting her too close. So that's your own fault.
Well, you know, I never understood that whole red lipstick on shirt stuff. Like, because I'm just like, okay.
He left it hanging there for everyone to see.
Because I was questioning, I was like, how do you even, one, how does red lipstick even get onto like a white shirt? Like, are they kissing your shirt?
Yeah.
Or two, is it like, if you do it, are you so stupid to be like, I'm going to let this happen? Like,
I'm going to let it happen and then I'm going to hang it next to where she works the next day.
Oh my God.
Very stupid. But anyway, and he was like, we were dancing, she gave me a hug goodbye. So I was like, so she's pressed her face up against you, whatever. And at this point, we're broken up. I didn't really care. I just wanted to know, like, have you cheated on me? Like, I need to have the closure or whatever. And like, bear in mind, this whole time he's like calling me a psychopath for thinking that there's anything going on between them. Like I said, all my friends and family think it's weird that you go out that much together. Like, yeah, they're psychopathic too. Obviously, they're going to take your side. So I actually made an "Am I the asshole?" post on Reddit. Yeah. And then I showed him all the answers saying that he was the asshole. I was like, see, they don't know me. They don't have any like bias towards me. So they think you're weird too. Wasn't happy about that. But yeah, so he was like, oh, at this point I'd tell you if we cheated because just to hurt you and all this. And I was like, okay, that's nice. So like we have like 2 weeks left to live with each other at this point. We're just going to try and avoid each other as best as possible because I need to move all my stuff out, like, so I can't just leave. Like, I need to pack up all my stuff. So I think maybe it was like a week left or something. And he was in the shower and I was in, so we had switched rooms at this point. So I was sleeping in where I worked and he was sleeping in what was our room. And so I was in there packing up all my stuff and he was in the shower and I just hear like buzz buzz under the pillow and I thought, oh, let me just have a look. Let me just have a swan over here and see what's on that. I was like, he probably changed his passcode. No, he didn't. Stupid. His own stupid fault. It's her, like he had a nickname for her on his phone and it's her after saying that like she's broken up with her boyfriend and dropped him home. He's like, I can't wait to hug you. At least we'll get to spend more time together now. So I'm reading through all these messages. She did know we were fighting about her when she posted that selfie. She's just as bad as him.
Snaky. Yeah.
And then what else did she was so when we broke up, he like changed his profile picture to not have me in it anymore. And she was like, oh, profile's picture's changed, it's official, and like loads of excited faces.
Preemptive. This is premeditated murder right here.
Yeah, so I was like, clearly I'm not psychopathic. Clearly I was correct. So when he came out of the shower, I was like, you need to leave. And he was like, why? And I was like, I looked through your phone. And he was like, why did you look through my phone? I was like, because you're stupid. You didn't change your passcode.
Sometimes you just gotta, bro. You gotta confirm it for yourself.
Well, if it buzzed next to me, what do you expect me to do? You didn't change your passcode. It's your own shit and fault.
Oh my God.
So I did. Like, he didn't leave because he was like, I have nowhere else to stay. I was like, go stay with her. But anyway, eventually I just let him stay there. And I think maybe it was like 2 days left I had, and then I knew he had gone out with her into town. I was like, you couldn't wait till I fucking left the house.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that was basically, we had another big fight then, and then. But we were like broken up at this stage anyway. But he did try and say that his mom knew and condoned it. And I know for a fact that she didn't. I won't say how, but she does not condone it. Like, she knows me for 8 years. Like, why would she?
Yeah, like, she would never be a dickhead to you for some random girl she doesn't even know. Like.
Yeah, and he told her that I broke up with him because I was moving to Cork, even though I was moving to Cork for him. But anyway. So that's all a big one massive red flag. If anyone does that to you, break up with them.
That's insane. And the craziest thing is, like, essentially what they did was just like premeditated murder. They planned to break up with both sides, make it seem like it wasn't that like it wasn't like because they were cheating on the side. Yeah. But then they were so stupid to like not cover their tracks with the lipstick, with the not changing past selfies. It's like so dumb. It's like at that stage you guys might have said, "Oh yeah, we're cheating on you, but we're not breaking up with you. Yeah, we're gonna break up with you like in a bit."
Yeah, like, I don't know what they thought was gonna come of that. But anyway, yeah, I think they're together. Well, as last I know, but I don't particularly care. So,
what's your like biggest lesson from this relationship?
Don't trust anybody. No, that's very cynical, isn't it? But like, yeah, you don't actually know what's going on inside anyone's head, or like can't control their actions. So maybe like don't.
Yeah.
But like, no, that's not nice to say.
But it's kind of true because, like, despite the fact that you knew this person for like 8 years, you would have thought like, oh, I really know how this person's character is.
I was like, he would never cheat on me.
Yeah, like essentially, like you're like, oh, I know this person too, especially since you grew up together.
Yeah.
You're like, there's no way this person would ever do this, and then bam, just out of nowhere, and which shows you can never trust anybody. I always say that to Nicoletta.
I don't want to put down anyone's relationships, but
Can't trust no one. Just telling you
really
right now.
can't,
I say to her, I was like, you can't trust me. I can't trust you either.
We're ops in the house, like looking over our shoulders.
Everyone's an op.
that's fair enough. Do you know? It's true. I don't know, but yeah.
So
Trust your gut as well.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was happening, and I was called a psychopath, and I was clearly right. So
I mean, he knew. He was just like gaslighting you.
Yeah. You see, that's an actual proper use of gaslighting. He was literally trying to
Oh
gaslight
yeah,
you.
100%. Yeah. So that's fun.
Do you think you'll date again anytime soon?
Well, I am dating, but
Like
for a relationship, not particularly. I've told myself I'd give myself at least a year single, if not 2. So we'll see how that goes. I'm halfway to a year already.
I think that's a good way to do it. Like I think especially after being in such a long-term relationship from so young,
Yeah.
you owe it to yourself to like just be single, because like
Yeah.
one, if you go into a relationship, like there's just so much there, like you're not really getting any new experiences. Like I feel like you're better off. Like,
Yeah, and like I always wanted to live abroad and he didn't, so I was basically staying here for him.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, next year I will move somewhere, and I don't want to get into a relationship and then have to be like, oh, I have to stay here for someone
Yeah.
else again,
Yeah, exactly.
kind of thing. So
Strings attached, no strings attached.
precisely.
Do you like? I assume there was like a lot of like suffering right after and stuff. Do you feel like you're fully over it now?
Yeah, pretty much. Like the 2 weeks that I was living there was like pretty shit, and then once I moved to Cork, I was like relief. I was like fine. So I think it was just being like stuck in that environment wasn't great, but I feel like women check out of relationships a lot sooner, like before it's over, like they know what's kind of coming. So I like feel like I like subconsciously knew that like this was gonna happen. So like maybe not in that exact way, but like that it wasn't going to last anyway. So I probably like checked out a bit. Like my mom was like, you got over that faster than I did. I was like, well, and like in terms of dating, like I think some people are very keen to put like a number on how long you should wait before you go on a date. I think it's very much on like how much you respect your ex. Because like I don't respect my ex. So like 2 weeks after I moved to Cork, I went on my first date, which was like a month single.
Yeah, exactly.
But like he didn't wait till the relationship was over. So
Yeah, like
Yeah, you don't owe him anything.
No.
even try.
no, I have zero respect. But if you like ended amicably with your ex, maybe wait a little bit of time so that it doesn't look like you're just hopping straight into something. But like I feel like you'll know when it's right for you.
Not the best way to get over someone.
Yeah,
Get
no,
under
to be
someone
honest.
else.
Do you know?
I'm telling you right now, if Nicola and I break up, I'm straight away like the same week.
I'll strangle you.
The same night too.
I will murder you.
And I'll just keep it low key.
No, I'll find out.
Dublin's not that big.
I got eyes.
No, that's
everywhere.
actually very true. Like I always say that it's like if I like that's also one thing I always say. Like cheating in Ireland is like near impossible to do.
Oh yeah,
It
you'd have
is
to be on super stealth mode.
Super
Just
stealth
moved
mode.
here, like
Yeah.
I think.
Like, no one has to know you. Like that
Yeah.
would be the only way to get away with it.
You'd be
because
fucked.
Someone knows you. Like even now, like even people that I don't know that know me from know someone, it's like
Yeah.
like whatever, you know. It's like, oh, I saw bloody blah there. And it's like,
Yeah.
fuck you meant to do.
No,
I remember one time, was it like one of your friends sent you a story of her friends who took a video of like a club you were in. Is like, oh, why are you doing in this club? Where's your girlfriend? I was like, oh.
Literally, that happened. That one of my friends was like, oh, what are you doing in this place? But it was on some friend's story, and they were just happy recording, and I was there, and I was like,
See, you can't get away with nothing.
nothing.
They can't. So then, like, do you know what's your kind of like advice for someone leaving a long-term relationship that hasn't been single in a while? What, like, how should they go about it?
Especially from like when you're a teenager, because like when you're a teenager,
Yeah.
you're not dating. Like I feel like if you like were in a long-term relationship from like 30 to like 40 or something like that, had like,
Yeah.
all right, but like from being young to like being an adult, there's a lot of like years there where
Growth,
you know
maturity.
that you're with one person that you're not.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I feel like dating might be a bit like scarier in your head. Like it's like going to the dentist. Like it's not as bad as you think it is. Like my first one, I was like so nervous. Like I like spilled sugar all over the place when I was trying to put in my coffee. I was like up in a heap, but like it's not that bad. Like they're not scary. Like most of them aren't scary, but like it doesn't, like, just because you're going on a date with them there's no pressure. Like, that doesn't mean you have to, like, to go anywhere with them, or like have a relationship with them, or go on a second date if you don't want to. Like, just ghost them. But like, I'd say date as many different kinds of people as you can, because then you can find out what you like and what you don't like. And even if maybe someone's not like your particular type, just try it out.
Yeah, just to see. But then what would you say is like the biggest thing that you hate about like dating in comparison to like being in a relationship, that like you prefer about a relationship than being single? Because like some people, like, but I always feel like I hear this from my single friends, not from people who have been in relationships, that they're like, oh my, like,
so
dating,
you're perfect,
like dating sucks, and like, oh, like the current dating world is like so shit, and it's like whatever. But those are people who I always know are like single type of people, whereas people who are in relationships, I've never heard that from their mouth, like saying that, oh, dating sucks, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't like it. It's fine.
Yeah, you see,
I'm having a good time.
I feel like if you're used to it, you just think it's shit.
I'm trying to think. I say maybe the only thing that I've missed about having a relationship is having someone to go places with, like to book holidays and shit with. But like, I went to London on my own pretty much there at the weekend. I'll probably book a solo trip on Christmas. My mum just thinks I'm going to die every time I go away on my own. But other than that, fine.
Yeah, exactly. Moral of the story, you don't need to date anyone but guys.
Yeah, literally.
Fuck the relationships.
Well, I have some questions for you, but they're kind of like, you know, some are related, some aren't related. So I might just shoot them your way. Okay.
I'm scared.
How, if you were to enter a new relationship, what would you look out for? Like, based on your, you know, previous experience?
I feel like this is bad to say, because like, I used to like that about myself, that I didn't care if they had friends that are girls, but if they have a lot of friends that are girls, I don't think I can do that now.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it'll always be on the back of your mind when they're with them. It's like, are they?
So I don't know, like, and that's not good. Like, you shouldn't project past relationship issues onto your new one, but like, maybe if I do my 2-year single thing, it'll have gone from my mind by that point. But like, if I was to get into a relationship tomorrow, like, you can't have girlfriends, sorry.
Okay. I feel like you're literally the chillest person I know, because like when I, you know, the first day I met you, you were telling me about your breakup, right?
Oh yeah, I told Nicola all this like an hour after she met me, so.
And I was like, you're so chill, because I don't know how you were okay with your partner kind of even going on a night out with just one other person, like a female.
Yeah.
It's just a friend.
Would you allow that in a future relationship, or would you be more like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'd probably question it more. Do you know what? I know I met her, but I kind of got weird vibes from her. I'd have to meet the girl and see if I liked her first. Okay. Because then I feel like, do you know the way some guys have girlfriends that are like so territorial over them? Yeah. If it was one of them, I couldn't cope with it. But like, even like, there was red flags with her, like when we were on that double date, like she was being like too like familiar, like pick me kind of energy. She was like, oh my god, does he do that at home too? He does that at work.
That's the TikToks.
No.
There's a
in
girl,
real life,
there's
like,
a girl on TikTok that does those.
Yeah, I've seen those. Her, that's what she was. So like, if it was giving that energy, I just like I wouldn't be like, you can't be friends with her, because you can't tell people who to be friends with, but I'm like, this isn't going to work between me and you kind of thing.
Girl, you should have smacked that bitch. Oh my god.
Trust me, I had to do like a lot of self-restraint not to smack either of them. But
okay, does the man pay on the date?
I think it depends who asks you to go on the date.
Okay.
If I suggest the date and I say, oh, let's go bowling, I'll offer to pay for it. If he wants to go half, fine. But like, if he said, let me take you to this cocktail thing, I'll still offer to pay, but I will let him pay if he wants to.
Yeah.
Okay, and that, has it ever happened to you where that like he asked you to pay? Did you get like the ick from it?
No, I think most people have actually paid. But like, let's for example, if I go for dinner, I like always offer, and then if they say no, then if we're going for drinks, I'll get the drinks.
Oh, okay.
That's
that
really
is nice actually.
So yeah.
Would you get the ick though if a guy was just like, oh, you got this one, right?
Yeah. Like, don't presume I'm paying for you.
Yeah. I feel like anyone would get the ick though. Even if I was like a guy and a girl instantly were like, oh, you're paying for this, I'm like,
you're just assuming I'm paying for it?
Or like, if I've gone on dates before where they've paid for everything, like for example, I went on a date and he paid for everything, so the next time I like pre-booked the cinema and all the stuff, so that I had to pay for it, and then he couldn't pay for it.
Okay, smart.
But like, he wouldn't have ever asked me to pay, because then I would have been like, fuck off.
Okay, then no, that's fair. Okay, would you be okay with your partner going on a boys trip to Miami?
What is it with you in Miami?
Whoa.
Just seems to be the destination.
Once again, I don't give a shit about boys from Miami.
Okay, so you're okay with it? Like,
Yeah.
no bad vibes? Because we had a previous guest who was on a podcast, and he was just saying, like, oh, I wouldn't trust my girlfriend going to Miami because she wouldn't want
Trying
to
to,
go.
like, remember all your episodes. Who was that? Yeah, no, I think, like, if you can't trust your person to go on holidays, it shouldn't matter where it is, like, you just don't trust them then.
Yeah, no, I get
like,
you.
if realistically, if they're going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you, whether it's in Miami or here.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if they want to, they will. It doesn't matter where. Like, if they go away and cheat on you, they were going to do it anyway. You've just put them in prime position to do it, so it happened faster.
They would do it with their workmate.
Yeah, they'll do it with their receptionist, basically. How cliche.
Oh my god.
Get a new story. Think of something more original. But yeah. No.
What's your opinion on the hookup culture?
Yes, I've seen previous podcast viewers and people's opinions on such things. I think it's fine. I think if you want to participate, do. If you don't, that's also fine, but don't judge people who are participating in such things. Like, some people, obviously, it doesn't suit them, and that's fine. Like, but there's no need to, like, slut shame people for it. And it really, really irritates me that when guys like to benefit from hookup culture, but then are like, my future girlfriend can't have slept with more than 3 people.
Fucking crazy.
Like, I'm sorry, but if you're comparing a whole human woman to a sandwich or a lock, apologies, or like a lock that has all these keys, like, go back to school.
I hate the locking key
I'm not an
analogy.
inanimate object, like, fuck off.
Yeah, no, honestly, I hate that. That I always say to Nicoletta, I was just like, of all the analogies you can use, the locking key is the most stupid analogy. Like, I was like, make something like, at least that I would be like, okay,
Think
no.
about, like,
at least make me think about it, because
Do I look like a lock to you? Like, no, like, stupid. It's just a way to try and cover their tracks of being, like, hypocritical.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's like, oh yeah, I can fuck everyone, but
Oh yeah, fair enough. If they're like, you can't have slept with loads of people, I also don't sleep with loads of people.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's
like,
very fair.
if you want to participate in it, who do you think you're going to be hooking up with as girls? And then you want to be like, oh, but I'd never go near them because they've slept with this many people.
Yeah, like, the whole idea is like you sleep with all these people and then you find your wife. That's how it works.
If somebody asked me like your body count or whatever, I'd be like, fuck right off. Like, there's no need that you can. Like, my friends can know, but like, I would never tell a man, and I don't want to know theirs.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I don't
That
give
is
a shit.
fair.
As long as there's no one after you, as long as you're the last count in the body count, that's all that matters.
Yeah, and you're safe, and you're not carrying any diseases.
Yeah, that obviously as well. Get checked. Get checked, kids.
Especially, fair.
What are your thoughts on sex on the first date?
Yeah, fine. I think that's grand.
So that was just kind of on the same thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on traditional relationships?
Okay, so I actually had to ask Nicoletta and Brooke what they meant by traditional men and women and stuff. So, but do you mean like the wife stays at home and
she doesn't have to stay at home, I
and
guess, but it's more like cooking, cleaning, these
the primary
women,
parent.
Women chores.
No, I think whoever's the best at cooking should cook, and I think whoever's the best at cleaning should clean. And if you're both working 9 to 5 jobs, it should 100% be halved, because there's no need for the woman to come home and have to do basically a second job while you sit in your fat arse. So like, no. And then I think with the whole parent thing, I think it's mad how like women are expected to be the primary parent a lot of the time, like where it's like, oh, the dad is minding the kids, or like babies. It's your kids. You're not babysitting them. They're your kids.
You're taking care of your kids.
Or like they're like, oh, I got an hour out today. Aren't I so lucky? Like the dad's minding the kids. I'm like, no, you should. But like, he can have Saturday off. You can have Sunday off, or like half the days or something. It should be like equal.
Swap it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like society really like enforces that idea even more with the whole idea like maternity leave is still like, I think it's 9 months or 6 months or whatever.
7, I think.
Yeah, and then but like paternity leave like
2 weeks
is like a few weeks. And if you're in a good company, like even like the best companies I've been in, the paternity leave is still only like 4 months, which is still less than like the woman's one.
Yeah,
and I get the whole pregnancy thing, but like it should be equal in the sense of like the idea of it is not like when you're taking, like when you shit out the kid, it's about taking care of the kid.
It's not how it works. You don't shit it out.
Wrong hole.
Yeah. We need to put him back to school. I think fair enough having like a time to recover. Obviously your body's up in a heap. Yeah. But I don't want kids. But personally, I don't see myself taking 7 months off if I did have a kid. Because I think I'd actually go stir crazy inside the house not having a job.
Yeah, like you feel
I think
bored.
a lot of women do take like a few months while they're at the end of the pregnancy, and then it's just a few months.
Yeah, I suppose it depends on what kind of job you're in as well. Like if you're in retail, you don't want to be wobbling around when you're like 9 months pregnant. It's pretty hard. Whereas if you were doing like a work from home job, you could easily work up until the very end. True. But yeah, I don't think I'm a traditional relationship kind of gal. I've since found out.
I mean, that should end like altogether, because at the end of the day, most women these days do work and they're self-sufficient.
But like, I think there is some women who would prefer that.
Yeah, that's completely fine. But at the end of the day, it's each individual to their own, like, you know, whatever you're into.
And there should be no expectations for someone to change.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I would never, like, I just couldn't be a stay-at-home mom or like housewife or what. It just wouldn't suit me. So like, if that's what someone wanted, I'd just cut it off early then.
Absolutely. Also, I don't even know why people like. That's always something I always never understood. Is like I understand that some people like it, but I could never understand like wanting to be at home the whole time, being the only person doing everything. I'm like, would you not just get bored? And they're like, oh, but the kids are so fulfilling. But like,
what
are they?
Are they?
Exactly.
No, if I was a stay-at-home dog mom, that's another story. No, I would also like. I don't know. I can't not have a job. It like wrecks my head. So I'd have to do something. I just
that's
not the life for me.
Okay, I have one question. I feel like we ask everyone this because it's always like mixed bag. So, would you rather cheat on your boyfriend or snitch on one of your girlfriends cheating?
I'd probably snitch on my friend.
Okay.
I didn't know we had a rat here.
Loyal
Tekashi 6ix9ine chilling right in the middle. Damn.
Yeah, so I don't condone the cheating. So like I couldn't do it, and then also I just be like, you should probably break up with your boyfriend if you've cheated on him. So let me like cut out the middleman. I'll do it.
Okay.
You're like,
make it easy, like.
Let me just do
but
it
like,
for you.
if someone's cheating, they're clearly not happy in the relationship. So I'd want my friend to be happy and not in her relationship. So I'd be like, look, let me just tell your let's
tell me about their well-being.
Yeah. They'd thank me for it afterwards, I guarantee you. They would.
Depends on man.
Okay, wait now. Are we talking like proper cheating as well, or like did they shift someone drunk?
No, like proper.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. No. I'd
how about they were shifting someone drunk?
Would you let that slide?
I give them a stern talking to, but I don't know.
But you'd have to do the same thing they did, or snitch on them.
Yeah, no, I'd still snitch. I couldn't stoop to the level of cheating, Saz. I'm pretty sure you said before you'd cheat.
Yeah, I said it like depends on how close my friend is. Yeah.
Like, but that's
once again, that's if I could never, ever get caught. If there was even a slight hint,
but
I'd get caught.
Would you be able to sleep at night after cheating on Nicoletta?
Knowing that I protected my friend.
Was that a real question?
No, I'm joking.
He's about to get killed after this. Next week he won't be here.
Red flag underneath the table.
I also did give like an asterisk on that it's like it depends on how long my friend was like with that person. As like if it was like they were about to get married or some shit like that, I'm like fuck, I don't want to ruin that.
No, sorry. Like if
I
was
was letting someone get married to a cheater.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I get it.
If I was on a hen party and Nicoletta cheated on you, I'd tell you.
Oh my god, you have such good friends. That's good.
I think everyone should be like this.
I feel also. It should be like the person who's been cheated on should be given the information, then they can decide what they want to do with it.
Exactly.
If they're fully informed, then they can, like, if they want to stay with the cheater, fine. If they can talk it out. But like, I feel like they should know.
Yeah, no. I do think like for most guys that's gonna be because like you're just like, oh my god. But also I think it's also because like I grew up a lot like with the whole idea is like you just never snitch, like you just close your eyes, look over the other way.
Because guys have no morals.
I'm not even
when it comes to the women anyway, they do it with their friends. So.
Because like it's like, you know, if my friend like was to like go to jail for something, they're like either you. But you see, my brother and I actually discussed this recently. It's like because like especially that's a big thing as well in the black community. It's like you never snitch on someone. Like even if like someone does something bad, you never do whatever. You're like you keep your like everyone just closes their mouth and closes their eyes, right? But the thing is like. I deep to like I always make fun of it, but like the Tekashi 6ix9ine situation where like these guys they asked him to snitch and he snitched, like, you know. But the thing is like all those guys were literally fucking his girlfriend and like literally trying to like get him done in. I was like, why would you stand by someone like that? There's no point, you know. And it happens a lot because like a lot of these guys who like you're backing up as your buddies aren't really like
Exactly.
They wouldn't do it for you.
Don't trust anybody.
Exactly, they wouldn't do it for you. So recently, I've changed my mind on like, you know what? I'd actually just start snitching.
Yeah.
Don't hold me on that though. But yeah, I'd start.
Brooks isn't all his friends. Not talking to you anymore.
They're like, oh, I can't be friends with you.
It's either that or he's going to die after this podcast. So one or the other. Next week it'll be just
Tonight.
Nicoletta.
Tonight, you help me tonight. Burying him.
Me with some vodka and me. You won't want to get that. No.
That's all the relationships I have. I have one more, but it's unrelated. It's because I literally just saw a TikTok. But do you wear underwear in the gym?
Yes.
Okay. What's your thoughts on that? Because there's a trend of women
Yeah,
not
this
wearing.
has been vexing Nicoletta for a little bit
It
now.
is.
Okay. Wait, I feel like I need to know your
So,
answer first.
No, hang on. There's women in the gym that don't wear underwear with leggings, and I'm very pro wearing underwear.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts?
I feel like, why wouldn't you wear like it's you're
Because they say it's like breathing. It's letting it breathe.
but you can't breathe anyway. It's in tight leggings.
Mm-hmm.
So I wear the underwear. I feel like you'd see things you don't need to see. Is that the issue?
I don't know. I think no. For me, it's like
I'm not part of this.
stay out of this.
I don't look at any ladies in their underwear.
I just be looking at the ceiling and the floor.
Good man.
Like, do you know, like, I understand they're like, oh, like lines, but to be honest, like, if you're wearing like, you know, like seamless or whatever,
But like people know you wear underwear.
there's nothing wrong with people knowing you wear
Is
underwear.
someone gonna see me and be like, oh my god, ew, she's wearing a thong. What's wrong with her? Disgusting bitch.
No, literally. And then, like, do you know, there was another thing of like, but like, you know, there's stuff coming out of there, like,
Yeah.
you know, and they're like, oh no, like it gets better over time or whatever, and it's like, girl, what are you saying?
Yeah, no, I just don't. I feel like that's a bit. Is it not unhygienic? But like, why would you not like?
It kind of is though.
Maybe they just need to get more like comfortable underwear. I think they're wearing the wrong type. I'll put them on to someone.
Yeah.
Come to
Do you
me.
know, a lot of time they wear panty liner with the leggings, and I'm like, that's kind of the same thing.
That defeats the purpose.
What the whole
That's so stupid. No, sorry, that's way.
I was waiting for it to say that.
Yeah, no, I've gone. There, sorry, you're idiots.
like, what's the point of that? It's
Why
doing-
would you do that? That's so much more uncomfortable.
and
I
it's
could
less
just underwear with
breathable.
It
extra
could
steps.
slide off and go down your leg. What do you mean? Fruit's like, I don't know what any of this is about.
I thought panty liners stick to your.
They do, but sometimes
like-
if you're like moving about a lot, it could unstick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then that'd be very.
Yeah, it could fall out your leg. Is it more embarrassing to be like, oh, that girl's wearing a thong, or a panty liner just fell out her leg?
Or no, the worst thing is because leggings are tight, it just goes to the side, and then just a massive panty liner like
Yeah.
imprint on the
Yeah,
side.
especially if you're wearing like lighter colour leggings, you just see the whole thing through. No,
No, that's wild.
silly.
I just don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. It's been vexing me. All these girls saying like, oh, like
Yeah, I
it's
sent her a
breathing.
TikTok about it, and I was like, "What do you think?"
And
it's
I
been
found
pissing her
another
off.
one that's, you know, contradicting
You
it. I was like,
fell down a hole of it now.
that's why I had to bring it up on the podcast. I was like, do you know what? This needs to be addressed here. Yeah, and I hate it.
Yeah, no, as another girl's opinion, I would also say that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Just wear underwear, like at least in the gym. You don't have to wear it anywhere else. But
And
the
then
gym.
do you know like the way like sometimes then, you know, you like leave streaks on like of sweat,
Mm-hmm.
and can you imagine if there's like discharge on that, and then it's just on
being
the
a snail around the
chair.
gym.
But like some people don't even clean up after themselves.
But you know when you like get up off a machine and you like your arse print is sweated onto the thing, like that's not great
If there's more.
Yeah.
and like it's
Ugh.
no.
And yeah.
And do you know like moisture makes the smell even stronger? So
No, it's not. This is why I wipe down everything before I use it and after I use it.
you got it.
I don't trust people. I'm definitely doing it now. If you see any girl like getting off a machine, I'm like, oh Jesus, an extra spray for you. Be checking, is there a tongue line there or not? People are gonna think I'm a lesbian in my gym.
Just checking for safety.
Yeah, I'm just checking you're wearing underwear. Sorry, don't mind me.
Okay, that's fair. But that is all the questions I had for you. Do you have any questions?
No,
for Chloe?
honestly, you've done a lot. So
I'm scared. I'm not listening to this.
No, you did great. You honestly, you answered everything. Did so good. So.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I should have prepared a question. Fuck.
No,
Yes,
this is great.
We got away with it. That's great.
You're
Nah, you're giving her time to think about it. Cut the episode quick.
Wait, no, go on. Wait, a relationship question. Any advice for long-term relationships since you've got a 9-year non-proposed relationship?
Just don't propose.
How long have you lived together?
So we lived together for like is it a year or
2,
2 years? No, in college.
3, and 4. Your
S-
year
oh, yeah.
3 and 4.
Okay, so we lived together in third year and fourth year, in my
Okay.
third year and fourth year of college, and then obviously then I left, blah blah blah, went to Dublin, went to San Francisco, so like we weren't together, and then when we came to Dublin, she visited me a lot, but now I think it's the first time again that we've lived together
Like fully properly. Just us two. 6 months?
No, more than 6 months, because it's gonna.
It's been about 6 months.
Around my breakup time.
Yeah, so like maybe in total about 2.5 years, maybe
Nice.
about to be 3 years.
Yeah.
So in a 9-year space, which is pretty fucking mad if you think about it, but I don't know. I feel
I was
like
pretty similar though. Mine was 8 years and we'd lived together nearly 3 years. But that was
Yeah.
like all consecutively at one time.
yeah, exactly. So like I feel like the living together is definitely important. Like definitely do that
I
before
agree.
you decide
Yeah.
to do anything with that person like long term. You know, like if you're trying to
Oh,
bring on it,
100%.
like oh my god. But I think the big thing is just like you need to talk about a lot of things. I think one thing that helped Nicoletta and I is because we talk a lot. And to be honest, I'm gonna take full credit of this because Nicoletta at the very start of our relationship was always like rose petals and everything. You know, she was just like,
She told me she'd been working on our communication.
yeah, you know, she was like, oh yeah. But I was always like, nothing is set in stone. We have to talk about everything, you know, kind of thing. And I think that's just because like of how I grew up, like all my parents were to me all the time. So I was like, I carried that into my relationship. And I think because we talk about like, and we see the fact that like any day either of us could like decide to leave each other or whatever. And
Yeah.
like being comfortable with that idea, I think doesn't lock us in, because I think that's a big thing. Like if you're in a long-term relationship, I feel like you feel chokehold to the relationship because you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, if they leave, it's screwed. But I think because we've come to terms that like either of us could leave at any time, it's like a little bit
It's
easier
probably
to
a good
do.
mindset.
Yeah,
exactly.
we've always agreed on this, like leaving kind of like the open door, you know, and it's like we've always talked about like this is so stupid, but like exit strategies, you know. It's like, if we have kids, how do we, you know, break apart so that it's like in a healthy way? Because at the end of the day, it could just happen, and you
Yeah.
just have to deal with it.
Exactly, like how
this
everyone
is what
always
it
keeps
is.
asking us like, what do you do with the podcast? And then we have an answer. They're like, how'd you have an answer? It's like, because we talked about like if we break up,
Yeah,
like
we
we know
did.
how we'll deal with the podcast. Like,
Oh,
you know.
can you tell me the answer
The,
after?
the rule is if it was an amicable breakup, we keep the podcast. You know, we just meet up weekly and do this.
Record,
If I screwed up, because it's probably me, not her, because Nicola's a better
Correct.
person.
Correct answer.
Screwed up, then Nicoletta gets to keep the podcast because I was on the screwed up. But if she
I'll
screws
join
up,
it with you. Look, I did great this time. See, I'll just
if she screws up, I keep the podcast.
Yeah, but most likely it'll be like neither of us.
tell us if you'd prefer me to do it than Farouk.
Comment down below.
Comment down below if you want me to go and Chloe to stay.
I vote yes.
Yes.
I'll just
everyone.
move in. It's fine. I'll sleep on the couch.
But yeah, that was it for this week's episode.
Yeah,
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Hope
having
Chloe
here.
didn't die.
I'm gonna
Like,
have some vodka afterwards.
You know, so
And I hope you guys enjoyed. It was lovely having you. Thank you for coming.
yeah,
Thanks for
appreciate
having
You
it.
did great. And till next time.
Peace.
Bye.